Hey y'all, Brandon Rinas here. Hope you're doing amazing. So I've been thinking about this whole election process, this disaster we have going on, and how whether Hillary Clinton wins or Donald Trump wins, and no matter who gets into office, chances are most of us are not going to be happy with the results that we get from the candidate, even if it's the person we want in office. And then we end up in this road where we're voting for the lesser of two evils next election, and this cycle continues over and over and over again. The real question is, this election isn't going to change anything drastically or next, and hopefully it does if, whoever your person gets into office and everything goes honky-dory. Hopefully everything goes perfect and the world becomes roses like you're hoping for. But in reality, I think most of us recognize that we have a really messed up, corrupt system. And the question becomes, what do we do about it? How can we fix it? What are ways that we as just average Joes can fix it? And the answer is really simple. It really is. Whatever you're doing right now, do it with critical thinking. And I mean that super sincerely, super simply. I don't care if you're a hardcore Trump supporter, a hardcore Hillary supporter, you don't like anybody that's running right now, any of that stuff, it's totally fine. But whatever you're doing right now, let's start doing it with critical thinking. I'll give you some examples. Like our issue is that we're not consistent. For example, we have Republicans who are all over Hillary Clinton and Benghazi. And what a corrupt situation it is. We have men that died. This is disgusting. All legitimate points, okay? But those same people were not complaining at all when it came to all the embassies that were attacked while George W. Bush was in office. We didn't mention anything. No big deal. So when you are out there, we can't fix our country as long as they can play this divide and conquer game. Well, the Republicans are going to support Republicans no matter what because they're Republican, and Democrats are going to do the same thing. So both parties can be completely corrupt because we will keep supporting it. If we unite behind just basic things like, hey, if there's horrible political people in office and they are costing the lives of Americans, we're not going to ever vote for them again in office. It doesn't matter whether they're a Republican or a Democrat. If that happened, both parties would be changing for the better instantly. But we get so busy voting for the lesser of two evils. We can't do it this election. We have to. We have to vote for Hillary. We have to vote for Donald Trump because we can't allow Hillary Clinton to get in office. We can't allow Trump to get in office. That we keep this cycle going. So the question is, how do you become consistent? And I firmly believe in educating yourself through the opposite news sources that you would typically listen to. If you're a Republican, start listening to liberal stuff. If you're a Democrat, start listening to conservative stuff. And in my opinion, don't listen to major news at all, major network news at all. Listen to YouTube, find people that you trust, find people that you find credible, and if they're the opposite of you, find people that are not bought and owned. So find people like the Young Turks, their Democrat group that's more on the socialist side of things, or Stefan Molyneux is a conservative. Find different people, and preferably people that are the opposite of you. So that way you can learn and to hear other perspectives, because when we're living in our little fantasy world, we're not learning, we're not growing. We're living in our bubble that we don't want anybody to pop. And we know all the talking points, and we know all the things that our group is saying, but that doesn't make us smart. I always give the analogy, let's say you're going to church. I grew up Christian. So you grow up Christian, you spend your whole life in the Christian church. You call yourself a Christian. Well, at some point, you have to make the decision to be a Christian or not. You can grow up that way, but that doesn't make you a Christian. So most Mormons stay Mormon, most Catholics stay Catholic, most Christians stay Christian. But if that's a life or death situation, and you end up dying down the road, and let's say one ends up in heaven, one ends up in hell, you can't blame your parents for making you grow up that way. You made that choice yourself, or you chose to not do research yourself. You're never going to hear the Mormon perspective or the Catholic perspective or the Muslim perspective from a Christian church. You are only going to hear the Christian perspective, just like you're not going to hear a Democrat's perspective from a Republican radio host or a Republican party, and vice versa. So these are just things that we need to think about and focus on. Another issue that we have that's just a disaster is this Iraq war. So we have people that attack George W. Bush, liberals left and right, all over attacking George W. Bush for what a warmonger he was and how he started the Iraq war and what a disaster it was. It cost thousands of lives. He should be in prison. He should be in jail. Cool. Awesome. So then these same people go and vote for Hillary Clinton. Okay, guys, that's the problem with our country. If you're going to go and recognize the horrible, corrupt disaster of George W. Bush, and yes, he was, I'm sorry, for all you Republicans that even think he was halfway decent, he wasn't. He was horrible. If you're going to go and attack him, why in the world would you support Hillary Clinton, who supported the wars, who supported Obama, who's dropped now more bombs than George W. Bush? He's expanded ISIS. We're the leading arms dealer for ISIS. We're getting more of the same. And you're going to say, hey, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton? Don't tell me you have an issue with George W. Bush and then vote for Hillary Clinton. Don't. This is the problem we have in our country. And we get so busy with our party politics, we completely avoid ourselves from critical thinking, from actually rationally recognizing the reason I don't like George W. Bush is because I don't like innocent people getting killed all over the place. Well, if that's the case, I can't vote for Clinton. But instead, he's a Republican. Screw him. As long as that's the issue, we are going to be voting in this disastrous election after election after election, and our country's going to keep going the same direction. And there's no one to blame but yourself, because you're part of the problem. And if you're out there promoting the problem on your Facebook and your whatever, you're part of the problem. That's it. Let's stop being hypocrites. Let's actually know what we stand up for and vote according to what we stand up for. So, Democrats are excellent at pointing out the military-industrial complex. What a colossal waste it is. How much money we spend and how much money we waste on the military-industrial complex. All good things. Republicans, we need the military-industrial complex. We need it, we need it, we need it. We need to focus on all the waste and social programs. Well, I got news for you guys. You're both right. And you're both wrong. Both Republicans defend the military-industrial complex while attacking social programs. And Democrats attack the military-industrial complex while defending social programs. Both programs are a disaster. Social programs, you could argue, have no spot in the Constitution whatsoever. There's no denying what a complete disaster it is. If you took all the money that we spend on social programs and divided it between all of those who are in need, the poor and needy in our country, they would be in the upper middle class. That's how much money we spend on social programs. But of course, it all goes to politicians. And they get just enough to vote for their little politicians, so their politician gets more votes. It's called buying votes. Same thing with the military-industrial complex. Yeah, they get to buy all those big military companies' votes. They're all going to vote for them. All the people working for those military-industrial complexes, they're going to vote for the Republican parties. Even though now the Democrats are getting their hands in on that pie because the Democrats are warmongers now also. So the point is to be consistent. If we can't recognize corruption on our own side, and we're only recognizing corruption on the other side, first of all, we're not going to be able to gain voters because people are going to recognize that we're not credible. But second of all, what do we stand for? An R and a D in front of a party name means nothing. What matters is what we stand for, what our morals are, what our values are. And as long as we keep pursuing this insanity of, well, it's a Republican or it's a Democrat, we can't handle 4 years of Hillary, we can't handle 4 years of Trump. We're the problem. We're just going to keep playing their game. They can keep playing divide and conquer. And they're winning. They're kicking our butt. Hillary Clinton, their supporters, they're like, I don't want tax breaks for the rich. These evil rich people, they can't get more. We can't allow them to keep more money. We got to tax them more, tax the wealthy. Woohoo! And then they go and vote for Hillary Clinton. Okay, guys, I'm not the smartest guy in the world at all. But I got a question for you. When was the last time you gave a good chunk of money to somebody not expecting results? Just curious. Do you think that these businesses, they're taking hundreds of millions of dollars and donating it to Hillary Clinton? Do you think that they're doing that because they think she's going to raise the taxes on them? Don't tell me you want the wealthy to pay more in taxes and then vote for Hillary Clinton. That doesn't make sense. You can't make that argument. And so, again, you become the problem. You're complaining about a problem, and I don't think the wealthy should pay more in taxes. I believe that's discrimination. When you have any group of people paying a higher percentage than someone else, you're discriminating against that group. I don't believe in that, no matter what the skin color is, no matter what your wealth income. I don't care about your height. That's discriminating. But Democrats don't seem to mind discrimination as long as it buys them votes. And of course, that's a great talking point for Hillary Clinton. Makes her sound all amazing. People vote for her. They've been saying this for forever. Obama said it. Everybody keeps saying it. We're going to tax the rich. The rich don't get taxed. They find the loopholes. If they don't find the loopholes, they leave the country. Pretty basic, guys. They got enough money that they can leave if they need to. Executive orders. Oh yeah, Republicans, they love this one. We need to really attack Obama on all these executive orders. He's going berserk on them. Yeah, he is. True. It's becoming more of a dictatorship every single year with whoever's president. But where were you guys when George W. Bush was doing the same thing? Why are people going to listen to you talk about Obama's executive orders when you weren't saying anything when George W. Bush was doing the same? Of course, this is not for everyone, but in general, that's what it is. And for those who are defending Obama's executive orders, you weren't defending George W. Bush. Guys, consistency. As long as they have us fighting like this, they win. Every time. The Patriot Act, one of the most disgusting things that's been passed, destroying more rights than anything else I can think of off the top of my head. The government can go turn on your camera phone. They can be watching me right now, whether I want them to be or not. They can go through my emails, go through my laptop without any warrant. Thank you, George W. Bush. You no longer have rights when it comes to search and seizure. They can search and seize you anytime they want. Thank you, Patriot Act. Democrats that were complaining about that. Where were you when Obama, he didn't say the Patriot Act was bad. No, he expanded on it. He said, hey, this is a good. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make it now so people, we can detain them indefinitely without any due process. What? You thought George Bush was bad? He makes it worse. Oh, don't worry though, guys. We can also assassinate you. America, land of the free, home of the brave. And this is what we do in our country. They can only do that because we keep voting for the lesser of two evils. Because we will keep voting for a Hillary Clinton because we're afraid of a Trump. Or a Trump because we're afraid of Hillary. Remember when John McCain was the worst person? And Obama was going to ruin the world? George Bush was going to ruin the world. Romney was going to ruin the world. It's nothing new. The only issue is that we fall for it over and over and over again. And if you're listening to media sources that are promoting just one side and one agenda, you're part of the problem. Your sources are part of the problem. But how can you expect to be educated on anything if that's what you're listening to? Democrats, they attacked George W. Bush on what he did to the economy. Oh, he destroyed the economy. Yeah, he did. George W. Bush destroyed the economy. He destroyed the poor. He destroyed the middle class. Yep, no denying that. But here's the problem, Democrats. You brag about Clinton, but you forgot that he handed George W. Bush a recession. You also forget, or the people you're listening to don't mention, that Obama has followed nearly identical economic policies as George W. Bush. Where's all the hate for Obama? Remember, George W. Bush had an economy, it got going, it was this big bubble, everything was going great, and then BAM! Everything came crashing down, the poor and the middle class got destroyed. And Democrats and Republicans alike decided, hey, let's go bail out the rich, let's go help them out. Who cares about the poor and the middle class? And Obama has been George W. Bush on steroids. But the same Democrats who hated Bush don't have very much negative to say about Obama. Republicans, where were you now that Obama's doing all of this negative stuff in the economy and you're recognizing it all? Where were you when Bush was doing the same thing? Democrats, where are you right now? With George W. Bush 2.0, the black version, Obama, where are you as he's doing the same exact policies? And any economist that I can find who's predicted the dot-com crash that happened under Bill Clinton and predicted the housing crash that happened under George W. Bush. So in other words, they're not politically favored. Any economist that predicted those two things suggests that we are headed towards the worst recession in the history of our country, including the Great Depression. Yeah, that's what they say we're headed towards, thanks to Obama. And they can only do this because we won't learn and we won't listen. And we will keep listening to our Republican talking points and our Democrat talking points, and we will be part of the problem. This is only possible if we are part of the problem. There is no possible way without us being part of the problem. Welfare. Corporate welfare. Democrats, you guys hate corporate welfare. You're buying votes. These guys donate tons of money to you. They give you all this money. They take all this money. And then they get to buy votes and these Republicans stay in office. Yeah, that's true. And that's wrong. And that's messed up. But guess what, Democrats? You're doing the same thing. These social programs, these welfare programs, first of all, you're lining your own pockets. I already told you. I already said, you can look up the statistics. All the money that goes into social programs, the welfare programs, things of this kind, if you took all that money and gave it to all the poor and needy, they'd be in the upper part of the middle class. So they ain't getting the money. So our politicians are getting that money. All the regulations, all the paperwork pushers, all of the bureaucracy. That's what's getting all the money. Not the poor in the middle class that actually need it. But don't worry. Democrats don't really want the poor in the middle class to get too much, because that's a voting block. Just like the Republicans are trying to get a voting block with the wealthy. You know, if these wealthy give us lots and lots of money, Democrats are doing the same thing. Oh yeah, but one is okay and the other is not. No. Taking money from me by force, at gunpoint, and handing it out to someone else, whether it's a corporation, a wealthy person, or a poor person, is theft. That's messed up. It's buying votes. Because you can guarantee that that corporation is going to vote for you. You can guarantee that that poor person is going to vote for you. Oh, but we're just going to keep doing it. We're going to keep supporting it. Democrats, another question for you. You're pro-choice. So, first of all, I find it very confusing. So we're pro-choice, so we don't want to talk about how we're killing a baby. So we're going to call it a choice. But you can't smoke without us regulating the tar out of it. This baby doesn't have a chance in the world, but we're going to regulate what you do to your own body. Because you shouldn't smoke, because it's not healthy. Now, I don't smoke. But I also don't think it's the government's job to be posting pictures of some disgusting person with their throat ripped out because of smoking. No. They know they're making a dangerous choice. Yeah, you can write on there, could be harmful for your death. End of story. That's what it is. They're making the choice. The same Democrats who are pro-choice, you're going to go chop a baby up into a bunch of pieces that can't defend itself, most of the time are for the drug war. So you can't smoke, you don't have the choice to smoke weed. You shouldn't have the choice to smoke tobacco. You don't have the choice to work for whatever wages you want. You don't have the choice to work overtime without getting paid double time. So pretty much the only choice you really have as a proud Democrat, woo-hoo, is killing babies that can't help themselves. We're pro-choice. That's freedom? That's the choice you're going to choose? That's the party? That's the choices? Come on! What the heck? Where's the logic? All right, Republicans, yeah, you're better. Oh, you're way better. We're going to protect the unborn babies. Yeah! We got to protect all these unborn babies. And then we're going to go kill them off in every single war we can get our hands on. Yeah, we're going to be pretty much warmongers. We need a bigger military. We need more military-industrial complex. We need more wars. We need more attacking. Where were you guys with this Iraq debacle? Why aren't you asking for George W. Bush to be in prison? Why aren't you trying to get every single Republican that supported this war out of office? You're pro-life? Well, Who cares about some Iranians over there, some Iraqis over there? You know, they're brown people. Who cares about them? We got to protect the babies. But protect other people that are getting drone striked, shot up, maimed, nuked. I don't mean actual nuke, but I mean their food destroyed so it messes up their organs, running out of water, bad water, all this stuff thanks to our wars. Pro-life? My butt. Once we, as people, start working on being consistent with our own beliefs and we vote those beliefs and those morals, the election process is going to change dramatically. Most of us are pro-life. We actually care about protecting people, but we become hypocrites because it's our party. Most of us actually support freedom, but we become hypocrites because it's our party. Most of us want more liberty, but if it's our party pushing it, we're going to do it. This only gets changed if we vote our morals and we vote our conscience. That's all I've got. Brandon, Rinas, signing out. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit subscribe. If you guys like this video, it's a little heartfelt, a little truth, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the viewers. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for the shares. Guys, I started this channel to start affecting people, and I didn't think I was going to have much of an effect. I've got a video with over 130,000 views. I don't deserve that. I've got over 800 subscribers. I don't deserve that. I am a new guy on the block. I just started this. I am going to continue. I'm going to keep promoting this stuff. I'm going to keep preaching, if that's what you want to call it, whatever it is. I'm just going to be promoting basic common sense thinking so we can start working together to fix things. Thank you so much for the views. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. I truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's all I got for tonight, guys. Thank you. Peace out.